What's going on, guys? Niko here, and in this video, I'm going to be breaking down a chord progression that will blow your mind. Here's how it sounds. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to walk away with some new ideas to implement into your chord progressions. So make sure you stay through till the very end. Now, with that being said, let's get to work. I wanted to quickly announce that I'm giving away a free piano lesson. So if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, comment down below piano mastery. Additionally, if you guys are music producers out there, check the description because I'm giving away a lot of free MIDI packs that you guys can use in your productions. Now, these MIDI packs have chord progressions from some of the most popular songs in the world, and they also sound real because I recorded them on this piano and then turned them into MIDI. So with that being said, let's jump to the piano and get started with this chord progression. All right, so first I'm going to play through the chord progression and then I'm going to break down everything that's going on. So here's the chord progression we're going to be going over today. One more time. All right, so let's first go over chord by chord. So the first chord is a spread out C cluster chord. Now in my right hand, a C cluster chord goes like this: C, D, E, and G. And I use the 1-1, that's right, the 1-1-2 strategy to create. So I have my C, I count 1, count 1 again, 1 semitone, and then 1-2. So what I've done in my right hand is I actually spread this out. So I started with a power chord, a power octave chord, and I actually played both notes with my thumb. This might be challenging for you to do. I typically wouldn't play a chord like this live. I normally play one note per finger, but since I'm demonstrating here and I may be using this when I'm producing, I can do this. Now, in my right hand, what I have going on is I have the cluster chord, and what I've done is I've taken my G and jumped it down an octave. So I'm octave jumping here. And this creates a nice chord. Now on the lower end, it's more open with that. And then we have, more notes clustered together as we go up higher and higher. Now, if I was playing this even higher, you probably can't see all the fingers, but you can really cluster more notes as you go up the piano. Anyway, that's the first chord. So you see what I did there? I took the cluster chord and I just moved pieces around to make it nice. And this takes some experimentation, takes some practice, but if you take the time and put in some work here, you'll come up with something unique for yourself. Now, how do I go from that to the next chord, which is this? All right. So what I'm doing is I'm actually jumping around the major chords on the circle of fifths. So what I am doing is I'm playing 4 major chords from 4 different musical families is what I call them, because there's 12 musical families. So I'm playing the major chord of E flat, the major chord of B flat, the major chord of C, and the major chord of F. And if you look at the circle of fifths, that's how they go around. It's E flat, B, F, and then C. And what I am doing is I'm actually shuffling these chords around a bit. So I'm starting with the C major chord, and I'm making it a cluster chord. And then from there, what I'm doing is I'm taking the E flat major chord and I'm messing around with it. So when you look at it here, what I've essentially done is I'm playing a power octave chord in my left hand. And then what I'm doing, if we start to play an E flat sus2 chord, and again, you just take your E flat and you just count 1, and then here, and then you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and that next note is the sus2. So if you look right here, we have our E flat, our F, and our B, and then I'm having the E flat and F up here. I'm just duplicating it up here. But I'm also playing this C. Now, how do I get the C? Well, if we look at our E flat 6 chord, all I'm doing is I'm keeping this, but I'm taking my G, I'm getting rid of it, and I'm playing the sus2 instead. And then I'm adding a 6. So it's like an E flat sus2 6 chord right here. So if we look at all of our notes, and by the way, guys, to construct all these chords, I have a free PDF. It's called Piano Cheat Codes that give you guys all the strategies on how to create these. So, like that. And then from there, what I have is I'm jumping down to a B flat chord. So we're jumping over to a new musical family now, which is the key of B flat. So I'm playing the first chord. I'm playing, if it's in the key of C, I'm playing the C major chord. If it's in the key of B flat, I'm playing the B flat major chord. In the left hand, I have a power octave chord. And then in my right hand, I have B flat, and then I have an F and a G. Now, the way I'm doing this is I'm basically taking a B flat 6 chord, and I'm actually getting rid of the D here, and I'm actually getting rid of, that's it, I'm just getting rid of the D, and I'm taking my hand instead and playing octaves and keeping the F and the G. Alright? And I know it's a lot at one time, guys, and it may be a bit confusing if you're more of a beginner on the piano, but really all this comes down to is chord strategies, removing notes, adding notes, jumping notes around. It's really experimentation. And then the last chord that I'm playing is a B flat, F, and A, and then in this hand. So now we're playing what I want to call an F major chord, but we're doing a lot to it. So if we just start off taking the F major chord, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add the sus4 component. That's an F sus4 chord, but I want to keep the third. I want to keep it the major part of it as well. So that's what we have right now. So in the right hand, I'm using these 4 notes, the B flat, the A, and the F. So in my right hand, if we just take this, let's assume we're not going to use the C. I'm going to take my F and my A and jump it up an octave. And then in my right hand, what I'm doing, or left hand, what I'm doing, is I'm playing an F major chord and taking the A and jumping it up an octave. So if you listen, so I'll play this progression one more time, clarify a couple more things, and then you guys will be on your way playing this and messing around with it yourselves. So one more time, just going through, here's the first chord. And now I'm just playing around a little bit, but you can see what's going on here. So the first chord, like I said, it's just a cluster chord spread out across the piano using different inversions. The second chord is, what we're doing is we are basically playing an E flat sus2 with the 6th involved. So we're basically, if you use the chord strategies, create a 6th chord, and instead of this middle finger being the G, we're playing an F. Then from there, in our left hand, we're just taking the notes and spreading them out that we can use from our right hand. Then we're jumping to a B flat major chord. And it's really a B flat 6 chord, but we're not using the D. And then we're going to go into an F major chord with that 4th involved. So it's basically an F sus4 chord with the major component. So it's almost like a cluster chord. I call these cluster chords. It's very close to being a cluster chord. I'll have to make up some name for the sus4 middle component of the chord. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing here, guys. I am really just spreading out notes. I'm adding and subtracting them. And that's why this chord progression may blow your mind a bit. But the real thing that's making this more unique than anything else that I'm doing is that I'm jumping around to different keys and I'm really leveraging the circle of fifths and understanding how it actually works. So there's another video that it may be out now. I may not have released it yet, but it really goes into the circle of fifths, and it's the last video you'll ever need to see. So I highly suggest you watch that if you understood what was going on. If you are struggling to follow along with this, that's totally okay. I have other videos that will get you going and keep on getting you going, but this one I want to walk through because it may seem super complicated, but if you know how to spread the chords out, add them, I'm rambling a lot here, but the point is, it is not that challenging. So with that being said, that concludes this video. I hope you found a lot of value out of it. You can now go back to your keyboard, to your DAW, whatever you're using, and take these chord progressions and try to implement them into your music. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe down below, turn on the notifications bell so you get all these videos, and let me know in the comments what else you guys would like to learn and if this video was actually helpful for you. So with that being said, I don't have much else to say other than if you do want to work with me one-on-one for free, comment down below piano mastery. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.